In today's Torah portion, the first portion of Parshas Vayeira, we read about Hashem revealing himself to Avraham. And our commentaries explain to us that the purpose of this visit, of this revelation, was because Avraham was sick, Avraham was ailing after having circumcised himself, and therefore on the third day to his circumcision, Hashem came to visit him. And from here we learn the idea of visiting the sick whenever possible. The question, however, is asked, why would Hashem wait until the third day to visit Avraham? Especially we know that when one comes to visit the sick, and certainly in the case of Hashem, one alleviates the illness. With the regular person, one alleviates a 60th of the illness, and in the case of Hashem, Hashem's visit would alleviate the illness completely. So why then would Hashem wait until the third day in order to alleviate Avraham of his pain? Hadn't he gone through enough sacrifice? At age 99, circumcising himself? And the answer is explained based on a story of the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe, the first Rebbe of Chabad, was arrested on false charges, and during the time of his arrest, he would often have to be taken between one unit in the prison to another, and to get across, you would have to cross a river. And once when the Alter Rebbe was crossing the river, he noticed that it had come time to bless the new moon, to sanctify the moon, to do Kiddush Levana. So the Alter Rebbe asked the sailor of the ship if he would stop the boat, the sailor of the boat, if he would stop the boat in order to allow the Alter Rebbe to do Kiddush Levana. And he let him know that if he wouldn't stop it on his own, I have the ability to stop it myself. The sailor leading the boat wouldn't listen, and therefore the Alter Rebbe had to stop the boat himself. Stop the boat, invoking spiritual powers. The Alter Rebbe started to say the opening paragraph before making the bracha on Kiddush Levana, Hallelujah. And then the Alter Rebbe let the boat continue to go. And then the Alter Rebbe turned to the sailor and asked him once again, would he stop the boat now? So the sailor, now having seen the powers of the Alter Rebbe, he said, what will you give me? The Alter Rebbe said, I'll give you a blessing. And he gave him a blessing in writing, a blessing for long life. So the previous Rebbe says, when I heard this story as a 9-year-old boy, I wondered, if the Alter Rebbe already stopped the boat on his own, why did he need to come on to the favors of the sailor? And to offer him a bracha, to offer a bracha to a non-Jew, why did he need it? He could have just let it remain upheld and continue the Kiddush Levana. He says, but then as I got older, I understood that this is a fundamental in the service of Hashem, that one is not meant to look to invoke spiritual powers, miraculous powers, in order to help alleviate the troubles that are naturally associated with fulfilling mitzvahs. And in this vein, it also says that the Arizal would never bargain when it came to a mitzvah. If he was asked to pay a price, he would pay the full price. He never seeked to bargain. And the lesson is, and so too, that's why Hashem only waited for the third day, because naturally it takes 3 days to heal from the mitzvah. So even though Avraham had gone through so much trouble, and one can say, you know what, especially in this case, haven't I done enough? But one is never, under any circumstance, meant to look for a discount, for an easy way. We don't seek difficulties, but to seek for an easier way than the natural way of doing the mitzvah, this is not the appropriate way to do a mitzvah, and therefore Avraham was happy to go through the natural pain, and so too each and every one of us should embrace the cost and the trouble, so to speak, that's involved in our daily tasks and our daily mitzvahs.